She's Adriana. She's 25 years old and she likes video games. Let's start with the interview. Which companies come to your mind by listening the word video games?
So the first one is Nintendo, Ubisoft, Sony Computer Entertainment, Microsoft, and I also know Capcom and Gameloft.
Cool. What matters the most while buying a console or video game?
Well, for me, the most important things I consider when buying a console are the storage of a console, meaning how many games can the console store. Also, the backwards compatibility. I love when I can play games from previous generations on a current gen console. And I also value portability. I like consoles that I can carry everywhere I go without any complication.
Oh, that's nice. What do you think? What do you like most about your favorite console?
Well, right now I just have two consoles, are Xbox and Nintendo Switch. So for the Xbox, I love the amount of old games and new games I can play, while also having exclusive and family content games. For the Nintendo Switch, I love its portability, the family-friendly games it has, and the exclusive content that Nintendo Switch offers.
Okay. Um, what do you like the least about Xbox or your favorite console?
Well, talking about Xbox, there's really nothing I hate, but in the Nintendo Switch, the thing I don't like is that how quickly it runs out of memory. You have to buy an extra or many extra memories.
Yeah, you do. Um, what would you change to these consoles to make it perfect? To make it perfect.
So right now, I think Xbox has been doing a great job. I love it. I don't have any complaints about it. But the Nintendo Switch, like I said, I would like or I would love if the console had bigger memory, so I don't have to buy extra things.
Okay. Um, how likely are you to buy again from Xbox or your preferred console, the Nintendo Switch?
Sorry, what was that?
How likely are you to buy a game from Xbox or the Nintendo Switch?
Oh, I would say very likely, especially because all the new games and accessories and discount they constantly give, especially Xbox. Like, yeah, I would say that.
Okay, thank you, and we'll keep in contact.
Of course, thank you.
See you. Él es Carlos Rodríguez, tiene 22 años y le gustan los videojuegos. Empezamos con la entrevista. ¿Qué empresas vienen a tu mente al escuchar la palabra videojuegos?
Bueno, las únicas que se me vienen a la mente son Xbox, PlayStation y Nintendo Switch.
Excelente. ¿Qué es lo que más te importa o qué es en lo que más te fijas al comprar una consola o un videojuego?
Honestamente solo me fijo en los juegos que hay disponibles. Aunque la consola digan o se rumore que sea buena y todo lo que quieras, si a mí los juegos no me gustan, yo no voy a comprar la consola. Yo me fijo primero en qué juegos puedo jugar y ya después me animo a comprarlo.
Excelente, buena decisión. ¿Qué es lo que más te gusta de tu consola preferida? Bueno, primero, ¿cuál es tu consola preferida? Esa sería la cuestión. ¿Y qué es lo que más te gusta de tu consola preferida?
Ahorita la única consola que juego es Nintendo Switch y lo que más me gusta es de que es portátil, te la puedes llevar a casa de tus amigos, literalmente solo te llevas una cajita o si ya tienes funda te llevas la funda, los discos son muy pequeños, te llevas si acaso la base y el HDMI para conectarlo en la tele y pues esa es como la gran ventaja, ¿no? Que ya no, por ejemplo, con el Xbox ya no necesito llevarme los controles y los juegos, ¿no? O sea, ya nada más me llevo el disco o si ya tengo una memoria y ya descargué ahí el juego, pues ya viene dentro de la misma Switch. Y pues eso, o sea que es portátil, todo muy sencillo.
Excelente. ¿Qué es lo que menos te gusta? Pues supongo que la Nintendo Switch.
En este caso, su capacidad nada más es de 32 gigas, me parece. Entonces, pues debes de comprar como una memoria adicional. Si lo único que vamos a hacer va a ser descargar juegos. Y si acaso, y esto es a veces, al momento de jugar en multijugador con 4 controles, cosas así, tarda en detectar los controles. Pero de ahí en fuera, creo que son las únicas desventajas que yo veo.
Excelente. ¿Qué le cambiarías pues a la consola, a la Switch, para que fuera perfecta?
Si acaso un poco más grande la pantalla y también la batería, que dure un poco más.
Excelente. Tú sientes que dura muy poco. Muy bien. Eh,
Pero,
perdón, te interrumpí.
es que iba a decir que a lo mejor no sé si sea yo que a veces juego mucho o que de plano sí siento que a veces no me dura tanto la batería.
Híjole. Bueno, ahí sí, quién sabe. Yo creo que sí es la batería, porque siento que la Switch no es tan potente. O sea, en la batería, en ese sentido. Pero bueno, ¿qué es la última cosa que viste o escuchaste para comprar una consola o un videojuego?
Por ejemplo, la Switch cuando la compré, literalmente la compré por un juego que era el de The Witcher.
Mm.
Y ahorita pues también estoy como más clavado porque van a sacar próximamente 2 juegos de Pokémon, el de Diamante Perla y el de Arceus. Entonces pues es como un incentivo para seguir dentro de Switch. Y también vi que por ahí andaban diciendo, no sé qué tan verídico sea esto, que van a sacar otra versión de la Nintendo Switch con una pantalla más grande.
Oh, eso no lo sabía. Sería bueno. Eh, ¿Qué tan probable es que vuelvas a comprar juegos o una consola de Nintendo directamente?
Bueno, pues muy probable. Los juegos obviamente sí los voy a andar comprando conforme me vayan gustando y vayan saliendo. Y la consola, pues ahorita en mi mente no está cambiarla. Si es que llegan a sacar el nuevo modelo, la verdad es que a no ser que tenga, no sé, una mayor potencia como tú lo dices, no creo cambiarla. Me quedo con la que tengo, ya a no ser que sea algo funcional, ahora sí la cambiaría.
Excelente. Pues te agradezco mucho de tu tiempo y seguimos en contacto.
Claro que sí.
Okay. He's Sam, he's 25 years old, and he also likes video games. So let's begin with the interview. Which companies come to your mind by listening the word video games?
It is the company that comes to mind. There's a few, but the first one is Nintendo.
Oh, Nintendo. Nice.
Yeah.
What matters the most while buying a console or video game?
So for me, the singular aspect or thing that I look at when it comes to buying a console or video game is multiplayer capabilities. So I'm only playing video games if I can play them with my friends. And so growing up, it was always a battle between Xbox or PlayStation. So it was Xbox just because it seemed like they had more games you could play together online.
Okay. What do you like most about Xbox or your favorite console?
So it's a tough question. I I always thought the Xbox controller was easier to understand than the PlayStation controller. Something about, A, B, and Y and X rather than the triangle and the circle and the square was easy for me. But I also just like the games they produced as well. Games like Halo and Gears of War were my top favorites. And those were Xbox games, if I can remember.
All right. Um, what do you like the least about your favorite console?
What I like least? I think I might be biased here because I was gonna say what I like least is how they have upgraded the consoles over the years. I've lost track of what the latest Xbox is and how many of them there are, but I get the impression like they're upgrading the consoles, but they're also not upgrading the games. For example, as of today, um, Halo and Gears of War are still my favorite Xbox games, and those games were created over a decade ago.
Yeah. Um, what would you change to the consoles to make them perfect?
To make them perfect. Hmm. I honestly wouldn't change anything to the console. I don't see the console as having a lot of utility for me. It's mainly to me it's the video game and the video game design and let's say the characteristics of the actual game itself. So yeah, that would be my answer to that.
What was the last thing you saw or heard of Xbox that prompted you to buy it?
For sure. So it was when I was probably 12 years old. I was getting done with baseball practice, and a few of my best friends were talking about how they're going to go log in to play some Xbox later. And I asked them, hey, like, what are you playing? What is that? And they were telling me about it. It sounded very fun. And so I asked my parents if I could get an Xbox, get the game. They said, yep. Played online the next day, and it was some of the most fun I've ever had.
Huh, that's nice. A good story. Um,
Mm-hmm.
how likely are you to buy again an Xbox a console? Yeah.
I Tough question. It as of right now and in the near future, 0%, simply because of lifestyle reasons. I'm traveling around quite a bit, and so for me, computer games are much easier. I can play those from my laptop and a good internet connection. But in the future, when I settle down, get a house, I will definitely be getting whatever the latest Xbox is.
Okay. Uh, that would be all. So thank you. See ya.
Thank you.